A number of years ago, one of the most unique studies that I ever read out of Japan came out talking about forest brushing for depression. And I remember seeing it in one of my psychology journals going, what the hell is forest brushing? Forest, trees and brushing. I mean, I could put one and one together and figure that he's talking about, going through a forest and touching the trees and touching the limbs of the limbs and the leaves on the limbs and all those things. And I thought, wow, this is fascinating. And as I started reading, I started seeing that these Japanese doctors were writing prescriptions for 45 minutes, 3 times a week of forest bathing. And as I went deeper, and there's been many more articles since then, this was like 15, 20 years ago, as I continue to read about it, it's even becoming more popular. People are starting to spend a couple days in a row in nature, and they're finding this outrageous reduction in cortisol, adrenaline, depression, anxiety. I mean, almost everything you can imagine. And depression is huge in our country, being alleviated to a very high degree through being in nature. There was this other article I read recently about how just putting your hand on a tree. Now, a tree has a frequency, I think it's 7.86, which is outrageously low. As a matter of fact, I think the human ear can't hear anything below 12 or 14. So you're not going to hear the vibration of nature. But when you put your hand on a tree for just 5 minutes, one of the studies that came out said it lowered individuals' depression scale. Now, this is a scale, a person reporting on a 1 to 10 scale of how bad their depression was, from a 9 to a 5. 5 minutes of leaning against a tree with your back. 5 minutes of standing there with both hands on the tree. I mean, we're not asking for a lot of time. Now, let's go to other studies that have talked about laying in the grass on your back with just shorts on. So your body is completely healing with the frequency of the earth, which again is 7.86, right? We can't hear it, but we can feel it. Major athletes, Novak Djokovic, there's so many major athletes that are doing all kinds of nature work. Now, the big term is grounding, right? You can get grounding sheets and grounding pads and all that kind of stuff, and it might work for some people. It didn't work at all for me, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't be great for you. I just spend time in nature. I just say, it'd be great if these sheets worked. They didn't do a thing. It'd be great if these grounding pads worked. They didn't do a thing. I got several from different companies just to make sure, and I said, what, screw it. I'm going out in the sun. I'm going to go lay on the beach. I'm going to lay on my yard. I'm going to hold a tree. I'm going to hug a tree. Oh, Novak Djokovic, the number one tennis player, well, used to be the number one tennis player in the world, talks about how him and his family actually do hug trees for the healing antidepressant benefits. He talks about walking and grounding barefoot through sand, grass, anything whatsoever to stabilize his moods. Now, this is the former number one tennis player of the world that's doing these natural antidepressant moves, There's so many great things that we can think about. Another one would be the supplement saffron. I've talked about that before. It's a great one. And again, it's a natural way to approach something like depression. Being outside, oh gosh, in the year 2000, there was a major study done about sunlight, and people have always said, oh my God, skin cancer this, skin cancer that. And they came out and said, no, your body actually needs 20 minutes minimal, 20 to 30 minutes a day to lift spirits, to increase the neurotransmitters, dopamine and serotonin in the brain, to increase immune system function. It can be done 20 minutes a day in the sun. And we have all this lathering, all of this kind of lotion on and everything. And then we're finding out that the lotion may actually be a part of the problem with cancer. Is that crazy? But 20 minutes, and this is a doctor in 2000 that did a study and shared it with me on my former radio show. And she was saying, David, we've got it all wrong. The sun is a natural healer, increasing vitamin D, increasing immune system functioning. So I've given you a few tips to help you with depression. Tips to get out in nature. The beach, the park, walk barefoot, do anything you can, touch trees, touch leaves, do the forest brushing. Oh my God, so many immense benefits to the immune system, to your mental health, to your physical health. And because the world is so crazy, if you're struggling in any area at all, we're offering a free 20-minute session with me on the phone. Just go to talkdavid.com or davidessel.com, sign up at the Contact Us page. My team will get you hooked up with me for the free 20-minute session right away. I struggled with depression for many, many years. I know the way out. This is one of the ways out, and I can share more. Also at the same website, 5 of our top 16 best-selling books are there for free. Grab all 5 absolutely free. I'm David Essel. Let's use what nature has given us to help us heal.